Good evening. Wow, I didn't realise that I was live. Hi everyone. No, sorry, I was just momentarily distracted by my mobile device. It is indeed the Doomlink's Live Hunt series, and we are in Generations Ultimate. I regret to say that before this recording I consumed a lot of food, and so I feel a bit, I've got a food baby going on here, and it's rather unsightly. Not really, to be honest. It's just, it feels like it. My stomach is really quite full. And, yeah, I had a beer as well. So basically I had Italian food and beer simultaneously. Like half a litre of beer. No, excuse me, it was not half a litre. It was 750 mils of beer. And, the reason why I was not intending to do that, I basically dropped the bottle on its way to the fridge. It must have slipped out of my hand or something, or I don't know what happened precisely, but basically the beer frothed up so powerfully that it started to seep through, like violently seep through the bottle top, through the opening. And I said to myself, well, you know what, that means I have to drink it now, otherwise it's pointless. So I went and did that, and consequently, my stomach is quite full. Thank you, Decker, for your contribution in the chat. It's probably more meaningful than anything you've ever said in Hunsterverse, but anyway, cheers everyone. I've got gin. I was going to have beer as my accompanying beverage today, but gin will have to suffice. It's much lower profile than a big, heavy stout, which was the initial plan. But, yeah. A beverage is still better than no beverage. Well, I'm glad that you've been rewarded, P-Berry, for getting up early. I am here and recording. I wanted to shout out someone, by the way. This person subscribed to me about 40 minutes ago, which means that they would have found the channel without actually having watched me live, and, well, subscribed, I say. That would be, if it were YouTube, this is someone who followed me on Twitch. The name of the person is Vinter Gaming. I suppose he plays video games or something, but anyway, which is quite unique of him. But he followed me 40 minutes ago. I thank him for that, and yeah, I tend not to shout people out who followed me, but that's not because I'm specifically averse to doing so. It's just that I generally don't, because I don't see it. But, I noticed that he followed on his own, so I appreciate that. Any.turn. That's an interesting web URL. Might type that into my web address and see if anything comes up. It might be a step-by-step guide on how to conduct a turns room when it comes to proper etiquette, and indeed how to engage with such a room. I think it would be very helpful to the community of this game. I didn't actually need to move myself for you to see that, but there's an angry winking face. Oh yeah, we are all huntering 999. I actually didn't notice that. I saw that Love and I were huntering 999, but it turns out that the room host, Alan, also is huntering 999. Except, well, no, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to leave. Why are you leaving, Doomlink? Why would you do that? Well, the quest on the board was Huntering 4 requirements, so I'm not doing that, sorry. How boring. Well, I'll tell you what's more boring. The quest that was on the board. Grinding with a very Japanese emoticon pictured in the room information. Ugh. By the way, it's not that I ate too much, it's that I ate the correct amount of food to fill my stomach, but it was accompanied by beer, and it was already Italian food, which is quite heavy in the stomach, so... Yeah, if I seem at all sluggish, that would be the reason. Meow the Fourth is what this person has named their feline, which is It doesn't require further comment from me, it really does stand on its own. Whether it stands in a positive light or a negative light, I'll allow you to be the judge, but... whatever. These guys are having a chat about something without any real context to go on. It seems as if they failed a quest just before. So, good for them that they stuck around, I suppose. I'm here to join them for their next attempt. I don't even know what quest is going to be. What is the room information? Grinding! Well, if you're going to grind something, at least attempt to make mention of what it is we're grinding. Unless it's indicative of the fact that there are going to be multiple monsters that are going to be grinded during this period. I don't know. Or during the period of the room's creation and existence. Freak has left the room. He says, need to farm honey and latch. See you around. Okay, well. I get honey, but latchberries must be a normal gunner, which I can respect. A lot more than Pierce gunners anyway. A Cantor was mentioned, but apparently we're doing Hellblade. No, not Hellblade, just standard Glavenus, sorry. I'm going to purchase some drinks. Sounds like a good plan. While I see that I can, I shall. That way it reduces the risk of me joining a quest in the future without them. If that makes any sense. Good God. I'll do a Glavenus, I don't mind. I can think of less pleasant quests to embark upon. So we'll do that. I'll take it easy. What in the precise fuck are you doing? Even twice was excessive. You've sent the same message 4 times. I think we get it. In fact, seeing it in all caps really makes it seem extremely aggressive, unnecessarily so. I don't think it would be unreasonable to assume that this person is actually away from the keyboard. They're probably not here right now. Good for them. No, but really, what's going on? Hello, Lucklancer, I'm going to say hi to this person. Don't worry, this is an active room, don't leave, please. Oh, it's another cat. It's going to be a struggle to hold in my dinner. Having to hunt with these cats, but I'll have to do my best. So the monster in question is... oh, come on, you can remember it, Doomlink, I believe in you. What was on the board? Glavenus. So water, and what would be fun to use on a Glavenus in terms of weapon type? Well, to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of this monster, so well, let's use Hunting Horn, why not? No, actually, I'm not going to do that, because that's going to be boosting the damage of cats, and I really don't want to boost the damage of cats. I don't want to be reliant on the damage of cats in order to myself deal decent damage as a member of the team, because obviously the damage that your teammates does is effectively factored into the effectiveness of your Hunting Horn. And again, as I say, I don't want to be involved. I'm going to look after myself, thank you very much. Oh, everything that I'm seeing here is just unappealing. Alright, we'll do Lance, seeing as though I don't usually do Lance against this monster. Just thinking if I have a water blunt Lance, I don't think I do, that would be unusual. I could actually, you know what, let's do that. That's a little different from what I would typically do. We're going to use Blunt Poison Lance. Someone's going to tell me, Doomlink, you don't get an increase in damage with blue sharpness using Bludgeoner. Thanks. Moving on. I'm going to join up on this quest with one of the ugliest lances in the series. And Yuna, you know what, I'm going to read that as Yana. That's not Yuna or anything along those lines, it's Yana. Sounds very Aussie. Hello, zombie virus. XD? Are you permanently Like, is the XD face permanently affixed to your visage, or does it mean something different? Maybe it's not a face, I don't know. Anyway, Zombie Virus XD, hello. I'm gonna call you Kushala in complete disregard for the name that you have on Twitch, because I only know you as Kushala. Hello, streamer, can you hunt, please? Says Kushala in the chat. It's happening, don't worry. Had to get ready for the hunt, and incidentally, the quest host was AFK anyway. And I tell you this for your personal benefit. Because otherwise you wouldn't have known. It's just to give you further information as to why your request was neither helpful nor relevant. Oh, for fuck. Oh, no. Yeah, you've left Hunsterverse for now. Didn't you leave and then come back and now you've left again? I didn't even know that you had left again. Stop leaving. Just stay and take a break. Be ordinary. Well, I shouldn't say that. People should be individual and distinct from the crowd, but, you know, don't be a dork, I suppose is what I would say. Stop leaving Hunsterverse, please. It's silly behavior. Okay, so a cool drink is in order as we enter this area. Well, I'm happy to see that there is a very Hunsterverse-esque conversation. Deca is telling Kushala to shut up in the chat, and that's always pleasant to the eyes. So obviously, at this point, I'm wanting to deplete my sharpness as quickly as possible so that I do enter bludgeoner damage. This lance is pretty good. More than anything else, I enjoy the variety that it gives me. I don't often use, or really any sort of status lance loadout. So it's just a bit of good fun. I don't actually have a standard poison lance loadout. I only have a blunt poison lance loadout. Or setup, whatever you want to call it. I really was banking on that. Making contact with my shield, but it turned out to be okay because the fully charged attack still made contact. Pretty happy with that. No, come on. You can't blame me for that. That was inevitable. That was a foregone conclusion. Yeah, come on. Probably should have countered that, actually. That would have made more sense. We've got a sleeper. What? Can't speak. Apparently some people can't actually open their fucking eyes and see that the animation of the monster has just completely been cancelled out and has been replaced by a new animation, which is the sleeping animation. Wow. But, that's alright. At the end of the day, I don't really care. I haven't even referred to you as such, but I will now, Kushala. In fact, stop distracting me from the hunt with your non-contributions to the chat. Whoa, that was actually a bigger jump than I was expecting. That was a bit bigger than normal. Here we go. Obviously I'm doing my frontal thrust here as opposed to my upward-facing thrust? I don't know. See, it can be both upward-facing and frontal. Those are not mutually exclusive positions for the lance to be thrusted in, but it doesn't matter. The point is that I'm figuring out how to describe it, and hopefully you have some understanding of what I'm trying to get across. It's easier to keep on target if you're doing the X thrust. How about that? The X thrust. That will probably make it quite clear. The X versus A. The A thrust, I think, is slightly better in terms of motion value. Or at least it was in the past. But of course, the downside was that you'd have to be at a much closer range to that of the monster in order to get it off on the monster. Shield Assault. A very nice hunter art, by the way. What are you up to? No, don't do that. Can you believe that that was actually not within range of me? I do find that hard to believe. We've had at least one poison so far. I don't remember the poison value of my lance. Let's all take a guess. I'm going to guess about 280. Let's see. Oh no. Well, hold on. What is it? Yeah, well, it doesn't actually show me what its original value is, but yeah, pretty good. Happy to see that it's that high. It's almost at... Oh, sorry, I thought I had Shield Assault charged. I must be blind. Hey, streamer, cut the tail. No. You can only break off the tail. It's not a cut, you see. Well, technically it's a cut. I'm sure it requires cutting damage, but the point is I'm not going to cut the tail because doing that with the lance is very annoying. And I have no need for the tail, so I won't do that. Oh, here we go. Oh my god, that's actually one of the largest and most long-winded bot comments I've ever seen appear in one of my live streams. That's some serious reading material. That's a disquisition on why I should block this user from my chat. More than anything else. But, yeah, thanks for the... yeah, no way indeed. It's too good to be true, but I trust him. I can become famous. Yeah, I can't wait. Kushala is appropriately informing him of the Twitch guidelines and the fact that he should be following them. Much to everyone's benefit. Why is this monster... Oh. I immediately got my answer when I observed the monster. I was about to ask, why is this monster still alive? And then I realized that it's hyper. Of course it's still alive. It'd be rather extraordinary if it were dead already. It is also very big. Larger monsters don't have more health, but they are more annoying to contend with, so... Yeah, the thing with large monsters is that every attack that they have covers more ground. And so they are noticeably harder to deal with. Hello. I really should use Enraged Guard at some point. It's getting a bit ridiculous. I've had it charged for a long time, and I could have actually used it in that moment, but I always have to think about what my button combination is going to be because I never have a third Hunter Art, because I always use Guild Style, you see. Which means that I'm usually limited to 2 Hunter Arts. But I'm using Striker Style for the lance, because that's actually closest to what Guild Style should be. Striker Style Lance is actually about the same as Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate Lance. So it's a little odd to me that I have to go and equip a style I don't usually use to engage with what I consider to be the traditional style of Lance, whereas for everything else it's Guild Style. Doesn't make any fucking sense to me, but when did Capcom ever make sense with their game design decisions? They never have done, and they certainly have never sought to make sense when it comes to that. I think their objective is instead to be as confusing as possible. No, I don't think I'll ban the bot. Might be a slight waste of energy. Especially because they've sent one message and will never again send a message. They don't require any encouragement from me to be silent. Moving forward. Oh, another reason why the monster's not dead is because we have 2 cats on the team. Don't know if you could see that there. I really wasn't sure which direction to point myself in to hit the head. I was in a really awkward position in relation to it. There we go. I will try to use Enraged Gun to some effect. That is indeed asleep. But I'm sure... oh my god, it wasn't interrupt... Well, he has an excuse. He was using Greatsword. So, he was likely engaged in a charging attack before he could really cancel it. So... Or at least I will give him the benefit of the doubt when it comes to that. Greatsword is one of those weapon types where you are most likely to actually interrupt a sleep. Doesn't mean that it's easy to do it, it just means you're most likely to do it. Comparatively speaking. Hello, A Gaming, and yeah, that's all I have to say. I need to stop leaning forward in my chair to reach my microphone. I've said this time and time again. You need to position your microphone in such a way as to be in a comfortable position and then not needing to lean towards it. It's a silly habit, you don't even realize it. You don't realize that you're doing it sometimes. But, yeah. This is a more comfortable seating position, or seated position, sitting position, etc. Because I'm not leaning awkwardly towards the microphone. Hello, Flomu. Geez, I haven't seen you in the chat in a long time. Long time. You are either someone that I haven't seen in the chat for at least a year, or someone who's never watched me before, or never commented before, but seems to have a name that I recognize. So there you go. Here we go. Rather than doing that, I really should be using... Here we go, Enrage Guard is what we want. Come at me. What's that? Yellow? Yeah. No comment, Kushala, seriously. There's a notable difference between a year and like 2 months. That was close. I'd like to actually make use of my Enraged Guard after successfully using it after so long. Why is the monster still alive, by the way? No, I'm joking. I already have the answer to that question. As we all know. Yeah, time zones are not great when it comes to my live stream. I tend to benefit the Europeans, to be honest, more than the Americans. I don't know where you're from, but... yeah. It's a sensible time of morning for the Europeans by the time I'm streaming after work in my time zone. But for Americans, it's usually pretty early in the morning, like 7 in the morning kind of thing. Most people that need to wake up at 7 in the morning are, you know, being productive rather than watching live streams. That's not to cast aspersions upon any person who is available to watch me in the early morning and isn't at work, but yeah, generally speaking, that's just not sensible to expect your American audience to tune in at that time. Hello, Phantom Nero 9. I'm Corkscrew. I don't give a fuck about your stupid Nesset Greatsword. Couldn't give a fuck, mate. My Corkscrew Jab with this amount of damage and Rage Guard in conjunction with Bludgeoner puts your damage to shame. I don't even care that I'm being pinned. 541 True Raw. With Corkscrew Jab, Wake Up hit on the face. I almost want to delay the killing of... No, I don't need to delay the killing of this monster because he's quite close anyway. Camp is close to Area 4, so he should be alright. You're in New England, which I understand to be in the US, but I don't know where it is. I only know where the real England is, not New England. That should be renamed Fake England, actually. Just for true effect. Oh, that is satisfying. And the monster's dead. Yana, not Yuna, but Yana, will make it, yeah, without any difficulty whatsoever. Poor Yana, says Decker. No, I disagree. I thoroughly disagree. I think Yana will be okay. And, yeah. This cat is, rather Japanese looking. A giant windmill shuriken. And a, what is that, kitsune? Like a kitsune outfit? I think that's correct, isn't it? Mythological fox spirit thing. Anyway, I think it's a kitsune. Apparently no, it's instead a character or something from Okami. Yeah. Could also say that. Forget the historical origins, but rather... No, I think that's still a relevant point. It's the fact that, you know, it's probably meant to be from that game. I've got an itchy nose. There are a lot of crossovers. The fact that you can make your cat look like Sonic the Hedgehog is pretty funny. Not just look like him, but actually take on the appearance of Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm not going to use a meta bowgun, because that would require the use of Valor. And Valor is both an embarrassment and not something that I would ever show on camera. Because that is very much so beneath my dignity. Charm farming is annoying, even in a game like this where they are so terribly easy to get, if you've got the right strategy and the right team. But yeah, charm farming, particularly for specific charms, is an unpleasant experience no matter what. Yana has posted a Cantor. Fine. I enjoy a Cantor. No. I'm going to respectfully decline any request that you make for loadouts for me to use. Because I don't... Okay, let me put it this way. I will take weapon type recommendations, but not striker or a specific style recommendations, like striker bowgun as you've written. Like, I'm not doing that, sorry. I'm a guild style person, but I do use striker lance because it's what guild style lance really should be. Because it's what I would expect, given that guild style in almost any case is literally the 4 ultimate experience, except for lance. For some reason there's the really slow level 3, or rather 3rd thrust of the lance, which is multi-impact, which is like, okay, that's fine, but it completely changes the balance of lance and how it operates, so I don't like it. Sure, you can counter on 3 hits, but an eternity and more has passed by the time you've completed your combo that you may as well be given the opportunity to counter at that point. Anyway, the quest on the board is a Cantor. I will use Blunt again. It's actually going to be some Nakakos weapon. What Nakakos weapons do I have? I've suddenly decided that I want to use a Nakakos weapon because I almost never do. In fact, I know precisely what Nakakos weapon I want to use because I don't think I've ever used this on camera. Genuinely. Have you guys ever seen me use this? I don't think I have. I think the only Nakakos weapons I've used on camera are the bow and the greatsword. Probably. Part of the reason why you never would have seen me use this longsword is because I almost never use longsword. And I even less frequently use blunt longsword, and when I do use blunt longsword, it is more often than not a Cantor. So, not as a monster to fight, as is the case now, but rather the weapon in question that I'm using. Yeah. Usually I'm using the Cantor longsword when using bludgeoner longsword. Anyway, just wanted to try to diffuse any confusion. rather randomly, Phantom Nero says, I like Ukanlos. I suppose that's a talking point. Oh no, I suppose it's not random. Sorry, that was unfair. We are fighting a Cantor, which is the companion monster to Ukanlos. And yeah, I think both monsters are pretty cool. Back in Freedom Unite, I've really liked both monsters a lot. And yeah, I still enjoy them. A little less now than in the past. Because in the past, when Freedom Unite was new, I considered both monsters to be very difficult, very endgame, and fascinating. There was a degree of mysticism about them. They had weird lore details. I hadn't fought them much. They were very strong, yet they weren't Elder Dragons. And yeah, I quite liked that. I suppose rather than mysticism, I would say mystique. There was a mystique attached to them. And it was pretty cool. Okay, so apparently the question, as I now see, was which of the two monsters do I prefer? A Cantor or Ukanlos? I would say... Oh, that does entirely depend on which game. So, in Freedom Unite, Ukanlos was a very annoying monster to fight because he had the ability to cover you with Snow Blight in a very unfair way. The range of his tail swing, in terms of the Snow Blight associated with it, was just too large. It was huge. And I found that to be very annoying. And unnecessary. It detracted from the fight more than anything else. So, in that game, definitely a Cantor. Freedom 2 doesn't count because Ukanlos didn't exist yet. So, in the games where both existed, yeah, I would say Freedom Unite would have been a Cantor, but then in these games, I'd say Ukanlos is probably my favourite, so that would be 4 Ultimate in this game. Ukanlos was not in Freedom 2, shut up. You're adding nothing, just... Anyway. That's alright. As has been noted on many occasions, Kushala is all about the attention and not much else. Anyway, Unhinged Spirit. This is probably going to backfire. There you go. Do the oh, maybe, yeah. I didn't know for sure that there was going to be a slam attack following that. I really wasn't sure. It doesn't surprise me that there was, but again, I didn't know. One way or the other. Oh, what was that? I'm actually genuinely shocked that there was still an attack going on there. Looked like anything Ukanlos, or rather a Cantor, was doing in that moment had concluded. But no, it was still going. Do need to get myself up to red. I do have Unhinged Spirit. The more time I spend hitting the monster, the better. Oh god, I'm stuck in a combo! Don't do that attack. That's unfair. I'm using the longsword, I'm stuck. I'm too busy doing damage. You can see there that I was extremely close to getting caught in the follow-up. Or in part 2 of what is something of a composite attack. Now. Feels good to be using this weapon though. It looks very... Well, you could either say that it looks very avian, or perhaps fish-like. Because to be honest, it... Yeah, maybe more like a fish than a bird. I suppose it would relate to fish more than anything else because Nakakos is sort of an octopus-looking thing. So if it came from the sea, that would make all the more sense, considering the monster that it came from. I swear I just did a jumping off... Yeah, I definitely did perform an attack which would have ordinarily caused me to launch off the edge, but then the position of the monster actually pushed me back onto the place that I just jumped off. I definitely need to heal up. Nakakos is sort of new to this game. He first appeared in Generations. So he had technically been in one game before this one. He is a cousin of Yamatsukami. Doesn't look all that similar, but they're both octopus kind of monsters, so it's understandable as not a totally far-fetched thing. It's not the sort of trivia that would confound you, but rather boggle the mind in a positive sort of way. Oh wow, there's a monster that relates to Yamatsukami so late in the generations of Monster Hunter and so many years after Yamatsukami existed as an Elder Dragon. I think what I liked the most about Nakakos was that you would have one idea of the fight as you fought him as a repel monster, and then you would actually learn what kind of monster it was. The twin heads that you thought were the boss were actually just tentacles of a larger monster. I felt that that was very well done. That was an excellent... well, I actually was expecting that to happen because there were two things that caused that death. The first was that I was stuck in a combo, but primarily it was the fact that I had defense down. I saw that an attack was incoming, I saw that I had defense down, and we just failed a fucking Akantor hunt. I can't believe it. I didn't see the first death, actually. I can't complain about the failure because I technically contributed to it, but yeah, that's really bad. Failing a standard Akantor hunt, which I believe that to have been, is inexcusable. I believe that was the trial by Akantor quest, which is the standard one. There is an event one where Akantor deals more damage, but I think you would agree that, and I will check my defense, that getting one shot, even with defense down, there was over the top. 829 defense. Not insufficient by any means. I would say that 800 is a sensible defense level to aim for, and this is 829. This person unflinchingly reposts Trial by Akantor. Unfortunately for him, I don't want to fight the same monster twice. Turns with Bondrude. Kiken means danger, which is Hyper Rathalos. I don't feel like doing that. Rekrutierung, says Jonas the German. The hype is royal, which is a really dumb name for a quest, but we'll go along with it anyway. It's Hyper Ludroth, one would assume. I will make sure just in case I'm totally wrong. I was not only not totally wrong, but not incorrect in any sense of the word. A fire weapon is in order. And I'm going to use Greatsword. I know precisely which fire Greatsword I'm going to use. It's one that I don't often use because I keep forgetting that I have it, but it's a nice one. It's the legendary Garo sword. It's very cool. It doesn't just look interesting when sheathed, it's very cool unsheathed. It has a glowing animation. When you charge it, it actually glows green. Doesn't particularly look like a fire weapon, but it is, and it's good enough. It's definitely not the best fire greatsword that you can use. Far from it, actually. But it's still perfectly appropriate for G rank level, and I appreciate the appearance of it. I don't know why I randomly remembered that I had it, but yeah, it's a fun choice, particularly against a monster like Royal Ludroth. Hyper or not, Royal Ludroth is not a serious fight. So I'm happy to use a slightly suboptimal weapon for it. I struggle to call it suboptimal, actually, or I struggle to justify that characterization of the sword because it is still entirely appropriate for G rank level. It's only comparatively worse than other options that you could use, specifically Glavenus and Silver Rathalos. The Glavenus and Silver Rathalos greatswords are notably superior to the legendary Garo sword, but unfortunately they are not as cool visually as this thing, so I will occasionally use those. I don't know if this is zombie in my chat, I'm guessing that it is. He hasn't made mention of the fact that it's him in the chat, but I'm just going to assume that it is. It is him. I wouldn't say that the quest name is disgusting, but it is a bad joke. I suppose so if you've got the right accent, real can sound like royal. Royal. So if I had a strong Australian accent, the hype is royal. Sounds similar to royal. Anyway, you'd have to have a very bass accent. Have royal sound like real, but anyway. I'm not surprised that you didn't get the joke, Kushala. I'm happy to depart whenever, to be honest. Jonas is not currently here. Oh god, his loadout is not good. Wow. How has he managed this? Oh, I see. That's how he's managed it. It's not full Nesset. That makes sense. Okay. It's not his fault necessarily. I don't know why he's doing... Why is he doing this? No matter which way you slice it, his priority right now is Atul-Kar. His whole loadout is predicated on Atul-Kar damage, and this is not complete. His weapon is unupgraded. His loadout is beyond incomplete. It's offensively incomplete. And yet he's posted Hyper Ludroth? Poor fella. Well, he's currently AFK, so I'm going to avail myself of the opportunity that has been presented. And I will go to the bathroom. I'll be back momentarily. Hey, guess what? You guys have shit timing for raids. I'm going to the bathroom. I'll see you in a minute. I'm getting raided! I'm getting raided! Ah! Oh, I really need to get ready, otherwise these people will depart without me. Jonas would have done it. If I had given him another 60 seconds, he would have departed without me, and he would have actually been quite pleased to do so. I can feel it in my waters. Anyway. No, you can stay. I'm here. Don't have to come back in 5 minutes. That's the sort of patience I would not expect any Twitch user to possess. By the time 60 seconds have passed, you will have forgotten all about this, and you will have moved on to your next source of entertainment. That is the future of humanity. Immediate entertainment. Distractions abound. What will satisfy my need to be mind-numbingly entertained today? That is, our species evolved to the maximum. How's it going? I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for the raid. Playing Monster Hunter. That's what's going on. Oh, I have to look at this greatsword. Oh, what's not so pleasing is that I completely missed that greatsword charge, but yeah, I mean, what an attractive weapon. Look at it. It's glowing green, and not just, you know, the glow is not localized purely to the sword, but it actually flows along the edge of the blade. Look at it. Look at that. That's actually scrumptious, if I were to use one word to describe it. That is both illustrative and entirely genuine in its use. And stomp. You've got some nerve, my friend. Seeking to combo me with that. This is probably one of the most aggressive Ludroth I've ever seen. There's a lot of activity in this chat. Your voice is making me feel something. Well, the only assumption can be that there's a sexual feeling. It's far too suggestive for me to assume anything else. But yeah, like I said before, the legendary Garo sword is not a particularly good sword. It's fine, it's not bad, but really, the benefits of it are purely aesthetic. In other words, how does it stack up to other weapons of its class? Id est other weapons that are both G-rank and fire elementally. Let's rephrase that. Possess fire element. Well, it just happens to look very nice. Oh, that was actually very cinematic, you have to agree. I liked that. No, I'm not going to do a high-pitched voice the whole stream. I really have to commit to ignoring you, Kushala. I have to commit to that. I can't just talk about it, I have to actually do the best I can to not feed your clearly demonstrated inability to contribute in a meaningful way. Oh, look at that. Zombie with his ugly Gendron sword. I actually wonder if it's a good sword to use or not. I'm assuming that it's paralysis element. I don't say that it's ugly in any sort of criticism of its use. I mean, fine, if it functions well, then that's what's important, but it is an ugly greatsword for sure. Meanwhile, I've got this very pretty sword, because it's an event weapon. Most event weapons are quite attractive. That's really their main function. It is to look nice. Sometimes they can simultaneously work nicely and hurt monsters a lot, and then other times they are just useless presentation pieces, almost like ceremonial swords. You know, not designed for actual combat, but they look nice. Davia Davir. I like your name, by the way. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I like it. I'm going to say Davir. It sounds rather European. He says, this beast looks like a giant mutated banana. That begs the question, what game were you playing when you raided me? Doesn't sound like it was Monster or whatever it was. Even 5th gen players know what a Ludroth is now. So, I don't know. Anyway. Borderlands 2. How did you end up here? Borderlands 2. Alright, well, seeing as though you guys came from Borderlands 2, I may as well tell you my Borderlands 2 experience. I never played the original Borderlands. Back when that came out, I was not really... So that was back in 2008. I was more of a Nintendo gamer back then. I was playing Nintendo-focused stuff. I was playing retro games, you know, Super Nintendo, NES, all of that. So I was not so much into that style of game. But by the time Borderlands 2 came out in 2012, you know, I had a PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, I was headfirst into console gaming of the time. And so, with Borderlands 2, obviously greatly anticipated back then, I picked it up. And I enjoyed it a lot. A friend of mine who played the original Borderlands still maintains to this day, because he's a bit of an old fogey, much like myself to be honest, that the original Borderlands is better, but I don't really agree. I have played the original Borderlands. I played Borderlands 2 on PlayStation 3 as my first experience back when it came out, and then I played it again on PC in more recent years. But I also played the original Borderlands on PC, and to be honest, like, the original Borderlands wasn't as enjoyable. I don't really know how to describe it. It wasn't a bad game. By any stretch of the imagination, it was pretty good, but yeah, I felt the Borderlands 2 was a bit nicer, a bit more polished. Anyway, it seems my explanation was met by inside communication within the chat between friends. Neither of these individuals are known to me. But that's alright. So, the quest on the board is not a quest that I really like. I'll do it because, to be honest, I did say before that this guy's primary priority... Well, that's a little redundant, isn't it? His priority is to do Atul Kar. He really needs to do it. And that's what he has posted. So I'm going to equip something and depart on his quest in an expression of appreciation for the fact that he's posting something that's helpful to his personal character progression. And I'm not going to dog his quest choice. What's this monster weak to again? Thunder. So what am I going to use? I've got the Gnar Thunderlance, and then alternatively I can probably... No, I definitely don't have a blunt Thunderlance, so... Gnar Thunderlance it is. When was the last time you saw me using a lance against this monster? Probably never. So... let's equip it. Opinions on Dante? I'm assuming you mean from Devil May Cry, and I'm assuming that that was directed at me. One has to assume, because, I don't know, I'm the live streamer and he's in my chat. Opinions on Dante? I never played the Devil May Cry games, but I did very briefly watch the anime, and for better or worse, I directly compared Dante to Alucard from Hellsing, initially to the late 90s television series of Hellsing, which was a bad adaptation, but then also to Hellsing Ultimate, which released in 2006, or began to release in 2006. And quite frankly, Dante was an absolute waste of space compared to Alucard, or at least that's how I felt at the time. So, yeah, never liked Dante as he was depicted in the anime, and I've been informed that Devil May Cry should not be taken seriously. At least one of the people who watches me really likes Devil May Cry and doesn't think that it should be made fun of, and then most other people who watch me that have also played Devil May Cry seem to think that, you know, the game is very silly and should be made fun of. Doesn't mean you can't enjoy it as a video game, but again, it's... You know, you are actually... You would be remiss to not make fun of it or to take it too seriously. Now, maybe A-Gaming was the one who didn't like people making fun of Devil May Cry. I can't remember who it was now. It was a conversation that was had, I think, maybe 2 or 3 months ago. But yeah. Ow. What? Oh, I see. So apparently he switches back and forth between different personalities in a way that's probably difficult to believe and get on board with, but... Yeah. I really need to not aim for the abdomen because apparently I'm bouncing off it, which doesn't even begin to please me. Why would it begin to please me? I don't know, but... That's one way of saying that it displeases me, I suppose. If you're going to walk away from me, I'm going to shield assault you. That wasn't you, A-Gaming? Okay. I trust you on that. I don't know who Virgil is, sorry. No idea what or who Virgil is, so no opinions can be given. Come on, hurry up, fuck it! I don't know if fuck it is a good way to respond to that situation, but the point is that you could see that I was expecting an oncoming attack, and then by the time my counter had concluded, the attack had come through and it successfully hit me, which was annoying. Apparently Virgil is Doomlink, okay. Probably some kind of edgy character. I don't know if that actually made contact with the weak point though. Looked as if it applied its damage slightly to the side. I'm not sure. I won't worry my pretty little head over it. What I will, however, do is pray with hands clasped, or at least as clasped as they can be placed while handling my controller, that I'm not flinched by anyone while using my lance. Zombie, I think, is actually making deliberate attempts to not flinch me with his longsword, which is definitely appreciated. But, you know, he's using a longsword and I'm using a lance. When it comes to multiplayer weapons, they are actual polar opposites. The lance is very directional and generally unoffensive, except for, you know, 2 fellow team members, except for when you're charging with it, which can actually be really nasty. And then the longsword is just a flailing, inaccurate team flincher of a weapon. And yeah, there's a reason why they are called longsword Larrys. People who use that a lot. Yeah, good burn. I will have a good rest of my day / night. It is nighttime here as well, actually. It's 11:18 PM. What the fuck? Can you not throw Dragonators at me, please? The person with the notably oriental name is sending emoticons in the chat, a lot of them. And as cute as that is, I really could do without them. Yes, I'm in Australia. Ow. Yeah, just do it. Just fucking do it, I don't care. I'm ready for it, so the sooner it comes, the better. Oh, that was actually a very satisfying looking flinch. I liked that. Doomlink liked that. Oh. Random amendment, I think Borderlands 2 came out in 2011, actually. Oh, no, it would have been 2012. It was 2012. Sorry, I briefly thought it was 2011. But no, it is I think it was like February of... It was between February and April of 2012, I think. Anyway, yeah, it was definitely in 2012 anyway. Yeah, for a sec I thought it was 2011, and then I actually thought about what that year was, and then I realised, no, that was the year Dark Souls and Skyrim came out. Dark Souls in like August and Skyrim in November. Or thereabouts. And 2011 was Dead Space 2. Yeah, that sounds right. Fucking Dead Space 2. I didn't play any of the Dead Space games. Wasn't into it. Well, I shouldn't say I wasn't into it. It might be good, and I may have enjoyed it if I played it, but I wasn't really of the mind at that time to give it a try. Please break this thing. Come on. I have a feeling that this would break faster with higher raw damage, but this is obviously a lance that focuses on elemental damage. Somehow I don't think rubble on the back of this monster is going to be broken by elemental damage. Doesn't make as much sense to me. That's raw damage doing the job. I did hear good things about Dead Space in the past, yeah. Might be worth giving them a try. It's never too late to enjoy a good game. That's one thing that I will say. Oh, I had best sharpen up, actually. I'm not using bludgeoner anymore, so... I mean, the temptation, obviously, is to continue because I'm on the back of the monster and I'm only given a limited amount of time with which to take advantage of that opportunity, but... I'm not going to attack with a fucking green sharpness weapon without bludgeoner. That's, you know, beneath my principled practices. What is okay, I actually thought I'd been thrown off, but apparently not. Yeah, I might try Dead Space eventually. This is the longest I've ever been on the back of this monster, and I'll tell you why. It's because I'm the only one on the back of the monster, so all of my damage dealing progress is very slow. Well, that's a surprise. Dirt cheap on Steam. Old games are usually almost fucking full price, even if they're 10 to 15 years old, from what I've been able to tell. Honestly, the absolute temerity of Valve to sell games that expensive so many years after they came out. It's just such a foreign concept to me, because obviously I was, for much of my childhood and going into adolescence, a console gamer. And so, you know, to me, an old game was something that you could just get really cheaply as a physical copy. Even brand new, you could get it very cheaply because no one would fucking buy it for full price years after it came out. But if it's on Steam, well, you better believe you're paying full price for it. I mean, or almost full price. People will contend, oh, well, you don't have to pay full price. You just wait until the Steam sale that's closest to the time you want to purchase it. But that's not always practical. And just because a Steam sale might be on doesn't necessarily mean the game's going to be discounted to an appropriate level. It will be more discounted than full price, as far as how Steam would have it without a sale, I mean, but yeah, it still doesn't mean it's going to be appropriate. Oh, I actually ran out of Shield Assault. I pressed the button at the same time it ran out, but apparently must have just been slightly after. Oh. I'm surprised that that's considered that valuable. A few years ago, a sealed copy of Monster Hunter 1, the Japanese version, was $100. That's a lot of money. I suppose it's significant in a way. There's plenty of PlayStation 2 games that are very pricey these days. I can imagine the original Monster Hunter in that sort of condition might fetch a decent price. The reason why I'm surprised is because generally it's PAL games that are most collectible. Japanese versions of games, even significant games, just are not that collectible because they were more widely manufactured and released as opposed to PAL games. So NTSC-J and regular NTSC are usually much cheaper. But there you go. Well, that would be a less extreme example, Flomu. I'm over a decade late when it comes to enjoying Dead Space, but, you know, discovering that Generations Ultimate is a fun game to play, or Monster Hunter Generations, as you write, was a fun game to play in 2021, I suppose. Yeah, it's a bit late, but particularly with a series like Monster Hunter, which, in my opinion, has only devolved since 2018, more than anything else, is perfectly appropriate to be enjoying after its time has passed. Which is to say, after the time when you can expect new games releasing in the old format. Oh, I see. You meant double cross. Okay. What? I'm assuming you mean new and sealed A-gaming, because that's extremely expensive. My most expensive physical copy of a game is Symphony of the Night on PlayStation 1, and that's still not that expensive. That could probably... My Symphony of the Night copy could probably easily go for 600 these days, but not fucking 900. 900 is absurd. Not many people are going to buy that. That's what you would call prohibitive. Even if you like the game, I mean, that's prohibitive. That's collector's territory. Not, hey, I want to play this game on its original console territory, so I'm going to spend $900 on it. Well, let's see what this room host posts next. If it's Atalkara again, I will leave, because I'm not interested in that. We'll see how he goes. It's not like I'm opposed to helping him, it's just that I'm not doing fucking Atalkara. It's not an Atalkara room, it's a... Oh, sorry, it's a Rekrutierung room. Which, oh... Even if you're alternating, I'm sorry, as I've done these monsters already, so I'm not going to continue. Sorry, buddy. Deviant hunting with someone who's named their feline Bracky. Okay. He's doing Silverwind G1, which is not even close to being enjoyable. A Bobo. Okay. Rayjack 95. I'd rather find a room that Zombie can join. I wouldn't want him to miss out. Come on. Look for Hyper Help Zombie. That's the name of the room. The name is not something that I can really explain. I think I recognize at least one of those characters, but that would be in Japanese. I couldn't even begin to read that in Chinese. Anyway, the point is that the name is Help Hyper. I don't know if we're helping the hyper monsters or if we're helping with the slaying of hyper monsters. Based on the fact that it's Monster Hunter, I'm going to make a guess. And I don't think it would be an unrealistic one. But I think we're going to be hunting hyper monsters, but to be honest, I don't know if this guy wants to post anything. It's not his room originally, and yeah, to be honest, man, you're the room host, go for it. Doesn't matter if you're player 3, just do it. Alright. Glory, glory, Elatrion. If you must. If you must hunt that monster, then fine. I'll live with her. I never know what to use against Elatrion, because no matter what, it's not going to be that fun of a fight. I'm so sick of Elatrion, and I don't like him in this game. I don't like the environment that you hunt him in, and I don't like how frequently he flies in the air. Unfortunately, no, I have not played any Metal Gear Solid games. I realize that you're asking the chat at large, but yeah, I haven't played any Metal Gear Solid, which might shock a lot of people. Well, I played Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, but not extensively. That's of course a PSP game. But yeah, I didn't play any others. Gun or bow, could try that. But the thing is, that's usually what I use, so I hesitate to use gun or bow because that's almost what I use in every scenario where I'm fighting Elatrion. So I might go Greatsword, just for something totally different. Totally different. Any weird Greatswords that I never use? Let's see. Obviously, viable ones. I'm not going to use a Greatsword that wouldn't be appropriate for the monster. Sort of looking for status Greatswords. Wyvern's Perch? No. Even fully upgraded, I wouldn't use that. Yeah, wow. Totally not in the mood. Seeing these Greatswords here has left me thoroughly uninspired. Oh, Bioptimus. Yeah, Sleep Longsword on Elatrion. What a fucking great idea. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I don't even care. I'm gonna use this status loadout, which is weird because normally I would use something with earplugs on it, you know. What a strange choice. This is the point that I've reached. Sleep Longsword on an Elatrion to keep it enjoyable. Can I make use of this triple slot? I can't. So, whatever. Weird as it might seem, this is the best way for me to enjoy this fight. I have no Hunter Arts equipped. Fuck. I'd better do at least that. This is why I hate Hunter Arts. I don't mind them, to be honest, but it's more work when you're trying to get things organized. Unhinged Spirit and Critical Juncture, thank you. You can both sleep and paralyze Elatrion zombie. So feel free to bring paralysis. That's kind of cool that we're complementing one another. I've got a sleep longsword and you've got a paralysis longsword. Well, whether or not those two things complement one another is up for debate, but they go nicely together in concept, I guess. Alright. May as well bring... In fact, I definitely should be bringing bombs if I've got sleep. Fucking hell. Okay. Which means that... okay. It's probably not a... It's probably not a great idea, but... I'm only going to bring... Scatterfish and large bombs. I'm not going to bring anything else. And obviously, large barrel bomb plus. In other words, I'm not bringing much to combine for a whole lot of bombs, but... Yeah, partially because it is Blade Master, so I'm not expecting a whole lot of sleep to be going out. Do we have someone who can do a good wake-up? Is the question. Where's my Scatterfish? What the fuck is going on? Scatterfish? 5 Scatterfish? Are you joking? I don't need more than that, but still. I'm disturbed to find that I have so few Scatterfish in this game. Anyway. I actually needed to make... Oh no, I have almost no combo books. What? $10 minutes? 10? That would be egregious even in 3 Ultimate, and that's actually a game where people just hang around and chat instead of hunting. In Generations Ultimate, to request a team to wait for you for 10 minutes. That's diabolical. That's daft, more than anything else. 10 minutes? I don't even know what to say. 10? Is he taking the piss? I don't think he realizes what this community is. This is a community where requesting for 1 minute of extra time is likely to get you to piss. This guy's already pointing at the fucking departure area. Now, you're going to have to do a lot more pointing to get this guy to go. He's asking for 10 minutes. Okay. I've never seen anything like it. I'm serious, I've never seen anything like it. This is the sort of situation that would usually result in a person just leaving the room. They just give up and give in and say, well, shit, I have something I need to do, I'll hunt later. But this guy actually just said to us when we're pretty much ready to go, oh, wait for me for 10 minutes. It's like, what? It's literally the opposite to the way people play in this community. Oh, my nose is a bit messed up. But yeah, that's just crazy. What the fuck am I gonna do? He's completely ruined everything. This room's going to implode in the time. Look, this guy's already ready to go, I think. How did that quest disband? What's going on? Do you have network instability, or what? How did that disband? You didn't even go to the quest giver. I think he's leaving anyway, right? How did the quest disband? Zombie, let's move on. I was partially excited to use Sleep Longsword on Elatrion for the first time in I don't know how many years, but again, the key word is partial, or partially, as I used it there. Let's hunt with Lonely. He seems like he needs a friend. Lonely. Yeah. I can't believe it. The fucking gall of this guy. Wait 10 minutes. Hand on heart. In 3 Ultimate, people wouldn't even dare. And that's a game where people are willing to wait that length of time. Like, if you're actually going to take that long to get ready, people will be like, alright, fine, we'll wait. But here, you make people wait 2 minutes and people's brains are melting. They're freaking out. They're looking at the time. They're like counting the seconds of life experience lost. Time they're never going to get back, seeping away. Red Helm G5, really? Okay. I'm not changing loadouts. I'm quite happy with what I've got. This is very weird and wonderful, but yeah, obviously the raw damage is pretty bad, so you're going to hope that 41 sleep value on a longsword is going to make up for that, which it might. How do you take 10 minutes to prep for a hunt in any game? I can think of one example, and that would be in games that predate 3rd gen, so 1st or 2nd generation, and you've got a very involved gunner loadout, which requires you to completely change your inventory to reflect the shot types that you're shooting. So, for example, if you're shooting lots of different types of shots, like cluster, crag, and things like that, and you want to combine for those different shot types, and it's going to be a long hunt, you're going to need a lot of combination materials. You have to do that within 3 pages of inventory space. You're going to need to basically destroy your inventory as you know it to make that work. It can be a big setup process. It exists. You can take 10 minutes legitimately to get ready for a quest in certain games. I've done it. I've taken that amount of time genuinely without being a dick about it. I don't mean like get distracted 5 times in the time that it takes for you to get ready. I mean actually commit to getting ready and having it take 10 minutes. He's already asleep. Yeah, this is a nice longsword. Jeez. I hit the monster twice and it's already asleep. Holy shit. These guys are probably confused. They're like, why is it sleeping? I have a better question. Why did I not bring my bomb combination materials for this particular quest? I'm sorry, I didn't think you were going to drop a bomb. You were so slow to get here. Anyway, we're going to get a few sleeps, guys. I hope someone's got a good wake-up weapon. No one has a good wake-up weapon, that would be right. All we needed was one greatsword guy. I like this weapon all of a sudden. I would imagine that Arzuros probably just has low resistance to sleep, but still, that's fucking crazy. I've never hit a monster twice with a Blade Master weapon and put them to sleep. That's insane. Fortunately, the diminishing returns of the 3rd and 4th generation, well, more like the generations that existed beyond 2nd, are going to make this far from overpowered. I wouldn't want to have a sleep meta, because that would be awful. But, yeah, looks like a fun strategy, definitely viable. It's understandable why this longsword has such a small amount of raw damage, because this sleep value is disgusting. 41 on a longsword, guys. And there's our sleep. No, it's not dead. Stop it. Stop it. It's sleeping. Alright. Who's got a good wake up? No, don't shoot the bombs directly, asshole. Your pierce shot just dealt the fucking wake up, which is not good. Anyway. Zombie does not expect to fare well, not as one word, but as 2 words, against Rajang, so yeah. We'll see how we go. Or we'll see how he goes anyway. I love that giant uppercut. It's very satisfying looking. Perhaps not so satisfying to be hit by it, but still. Ow. I do believe that Rajang will spawn on a timer here, so the sooner we kill this Red Helm, the better. The 3rd and proper G5 level Red Helm will spawn only when the first two have been killed. The first two being the first two monsters, but yeah, Rajang hopefully will not be here at the same time as the first Red Helm for very long. Shit. Like I said, hopefully not for very long. Oh god, get in there. Unhinged Spirit, do what you need to do. Oh no. Flashing a Rajang really is not a great idea. It may help, I don't know. We'll see. Look at the fucking effective range of that swipe. Truly nasty. I think it's safe to say that this is not helpful, having this Rajang flashed. Whatever. I really did think you were going to continue running in some direction that was not there. One would hope that the Rajang's dealing at least a bit of damage to the Azarus. Oh, this is just awful. What a shit experience. I would so much prefer EX Red Helm to this fucking quest. I don't even want to use Critical Juncture, because I don't want to put myself in a situation where I have low health again. Woo! Let's flash bomb the Rajang, it's so helpful. Look how helpful it is, guys. Yeah. Great. It must be helpful, right? Flash bombs are just good to throw no matter what. Don't worry. We've had fucking 15 years of people flash bombing Rajang, so I think it's never gonna stop. Ow! No, go away. This has been a shit show from the moment Rajang spawned. And he's dead, thank God. Alright, I'm going to sharpen up, and I'm going to prepare for a sleeping golden monkey. Because if that last confrontation was any hint, the amount of sleep damage this longsword deals is very good. I'll stop it. I actually forgot that I had high-grade earplugs on this set. That fucking hurt. I hate this monster, you know. Mostly because I hate monkeys, and this is one of the most annoying monkeys to fight. But, yeah, fuck this monster. He's cool conceptually, and in the fact that he's well designed as a monster, objectively speaking, but I hate fighting him. Sorry. He's giving me so few opportunities to get in there and deal damage, if you haven't noticed. Yeah, I'm bouncing off his stupid arm. Fuck you. Purple sharpness, cunt. Bouncing off your arm. Gotta be joking. Monkey shit. The problem is, unless the monster is falling asleep, I'm really not contributing anything. Not with this longsword. Here we go, here's an opportunity to get my sleep out. I really did hope that I'd be able to get around the back legs before he was swinging his fists like that. Oh! And diving the possible tremor, okay? That's why I dived in that moment. Get a life, you fucking irritant. Can you fall asleep at some point, maybe? Might be nice. That is what my weapon is supposed to do. Okay. I need to sneeze in a moment. It'll happen, don't worry. Goodness. I hate you. By the way, Raja, hate you so much. I'm barely applying sleep here. Have you noticed that? I'm barely applying it. Come on, put him asleep. Okay, I'm pinging. Jeez. These guys are paying attention. I like that. Don't shoot it. Don't shoot it! Whatever. His pierce is so good. The damage that Pierce deals is in the fact that it travels through the monster and deals multiple damages. Multiple points of damage over time. It is not a good wake-up shot, okay? It's garbage. You're literally dealing multiplied damage on what is individually a weak impact. Because it's one of several. A bomb, on the other hand, a little bit of a different story. Also not dependent upon which part of the monster you're hitting. Or where you've positioned the bombs, in other words. So, yeah. Just someone who doesn't know how to do a wake-up. And is really making my sleep a whole lot less effective than it could be. But it is what it is. I'll get these attacks out, then get ready to get the fuck out of there. Can you die soon, please? I think what you can tell is most annoying about Rajang is how few opportunities you have to actually get in there and hit him. I would like to critical juncture him. I may do that. I wouldn't do it for this attack because there's no guarantee I could actually get the swing out fast enough after being hit. Oh, okay. That's nice. Bit of a sleep opportunity here. I shouldn't prolong the combo. I should try and get this. Oh, that'd be right. Fuck you. I don't know if you saw that, but I was adding attacks to my spirit combo there. For damage purposes, but that's not what I wanted, or really what I should have been trying to do. What's most important is that I get to my white charge level on my gauge, and I just did not do the right thing to achieve that. And he's dead, thankfully. A bit of a long fight. We have yet to have a death, so that's reassuring. We've got Red Helm left, and that should be doable. One would hope. We have a bit of time to breathe after all that. We have a set time that will transpire before the third monster spawns. That time begins upon the death of the second monster. Well, the death of whatever monster happens to die of two, in no specific order. And, yeah. Red Helm as a fight isn't too difficult. It's more fun than hard, put it that way. So yeah, I would say that Red Helm falling asleep very quickly at the beginning of this quest is probably more representative of his low resistance to sleep. Yeah, look at that. Than the effectiveness of the longsword. Can anyone do a wake-up hit? No, it doesn't look like it. Just go for it, man. Do it. Actually, I should do it. See, that is a better wake-up hit than fucking Lonely's Pierce Shot. I would have preferred an unhinged Spirit Swing, but can't have everything, can you? I was trying to reposition that way. Ow. I have healed a lot, but I don't blame myself for it. Well, maybe I can blame myself for it, but I won't engage in any sort of harsh criticism, or self-criticism, rather. Okay, that was dumb. That was really dumb of me. There's probably more to... okay, that's a fucking miracle that I didn't die. Absolute miracle. I wasn't familiar with the attack. I must have thought that he was going to travel some distance, but he simply didn't. He barely traveled any distance and then just landed right where I was standing. And I just took the hit stupidly. You can see what I mean. He can actually travel quite some distance with that attack, but he happened to not in that instance. So be it. We've got a paralysis. We may be able to get a second sleep very soon. I haven't been hitting him as much this time as I was last time he was paralyzed, but not this exact one, but okay, hold on. I actually have a wake-up hit, so fuck off, Mr. Bow Gunner. There you go. That would have to be a pretty decent wake-up hit. I'd say so. I actually don't know what sort of damage it deals, but it's probably good. Probably good. Definitely better than a Pierce Shot. I can be assured of that fact. Things are flowing a whole lot better now than they were. Oh. I do want to use Critical Junction. Let's see if I can make it work. I knew that it was going to cause my Critical Junction to proc in the way that I wanted it to, but I don't think I ended up facing in a direction where it made contact. It may have, it looked like it did, but I don't know how much of that was just the impact of the monster causing Critical Juncture to proc, and how much was a potential impact against the monster. I don't know. Anyway. Good old butt slam. Stop it. Should I be expecting a third sleep? I think it's likely. Let's see how we go. Will he die? Or will he be slept for a third time first? I really should phrase those two things in a separate order, but that's alright. My point was clear. Yeah, shut up. He's got one of those roars that you can recover from quite quickly. Which is helpful. I think that was an interesting thing to introduce in Monster Hunter. Roars that you can recover from a little faster. Seregios was the first monster to have that. I think you've also got it with possibly Astalos, seemingly this monster too. I think Astalos also has it. There you are. Very cool. It was a bit of a journey, a bit of a process, but we got the quest completed without one death, which I'm happy to see. Yep. I'm confident that we didn't have a death. It's possible that we did. If we had a death that I didn't notice and someone ate for insurance, then I wouldn't be able to tell from the quest info whether or not someone died, but I'm pretty sure no one did. So, that was a job well done from the team. And, you know, aside from the bad wake-up hits of Lonely, that was perfect. Ugh. I'm a bit worn out though. I'm a bit sleepy. But I've got an anime viewing session after this. But I'll be good to go. I hate monkeys in pretty much any video game zombie, but I also hate them in Monster Hunter. I really hate them in Monster Hunter. I'm not much a fan of primates in real life, to be honest. Oh, look how noisy my D-pad is. God. I need a new controller soon. In due time, in due time. You know what? I'm going to have a look and see how expensive DualShock 3 controllers are, genuine ones. I wonder if they're still fairly cheap or if they have now become collector's items. I actually don't know. I'm going to find out. I'm actually a little scared to find out. Again, this one here I bought actually from a game store in 2014. They were still being sold as new at that time. So I don't know how much they cost these days. We're going to find out. Oh. Yeah, I can actually, ironically, just by sheer coincidence, I found one that's also red. 26 Australian dollars, official Sony. That's pretty weird. But it's reassuring. I'm glad that they are still pretty cheap. I wonder when they stopped being manufactured. I can't imagine that Sony would, in fact, definitely they wouldn't have manufactured them beyond the lifetime of, or beyond the release cycle of PlayStation 4s. Although maybe they are still releasing new PlayStation 4s, but I don't think they are. Anyway, the point of the matter is that, you know, the DualShock 3 controller is quite old now, so there you are. Hold on, am I being told to post? Next turn, please. Skip me. Well, I might get a red one just for fun. Although, I'm sort of sick of having a red one. I've had this since 2014. I originally had a black one, obviously, with my console when I bought it. And then I had a silver one, then I got this red one. But I've had this red one for so long. Longer than I had those other controllers, so it would be nice to get a different color. The mini USB port's starting to get a bit damaged. It survived very well, this mini USB port. That's usually the thing that's going to go first. Elderfrost G3. Well, it just so happens that I need Elderfrost, but... yeah. If you posted that knowingly, Zombie, that's very nice of you. But if you just happen to also need Elderfrost, then fair enough. I'm going to equip Gunlands. No, I will equip Insect Glaive just for the mounting. Yep, might as well farm him. I do need trunk spines, and any opportunity to get them is appreciated. Especially opportunities that aren't predicated on my personal... how do I say? Persistence. You know, I haven't personally posted the quest, you know, it's not my decision to do it, but you posted it, and you know what, I can get something out of it, so we'll do it. Please break trunk. No. Square. Break. Please breakfast. Yes. Trunk. Yeah, a paralysis would help a lot. I would be appreciative of that. Have I eaten? Yes. I've got Defender High, which is not really that necessary. I thought I saw someone else with an Insect Glaive, very briefly. I got a flash in my eyes of an Insect Glaive. I may have... oh, did we depart without someone? Lonely, what's going on? Lonely has exited the game, does it? It means he was actually in the hall, or in the game before. What's he doing? Oh, he's left the hub, and then simultaneously exited the game, so he disconnected. Okay. Well, we're 3-manning then. That's fine. He immediately disconnected. Oh, he's rejoined. Okay, let's abandon. Come on. We're going to do a world first, and we're going to actually abandon for someone in Generations Ultimate. I don't mean me personally, I just mean that, you know, you never see that in the community anymore. It's unheard of. But he's lucky because I am an old world Monster Hunter player, and Zombie is a friend. Or at least a viewer. So, yeah, lucky day. Lucky day for you, Lonely. You may have been lonely in the past, but no longer. You have a team that will fight in your corner. As for player 4, I bet he's just utterly confounded. He's like, what? People are abandoning for a person? What? So yeah, if you wouldn't mind Zombie reposting, that'd be good, thank you. I'll eat again. I'll probably go for damage instead of defense this time. That would have been better the first time around. Well, that'll do. No, stop it. Ice resistance is helpful, and foodie may be helpful, you never know. Alright. Let's give it a good shot. Do the best we can. Give me trunk spines now. I want them now. Yeah, Yamatsukami is the sort of monster that you naturally want to fight. He's quite unique. But he is also one of those monsters that once you have fought him, he's pretty unremarkable. He's not great. But it's not for me to tell you that. You know, people have to make up their own minds and evaluate it on their own, but yeah, Yamatsukami is a bit of a boring fight. He is a novelty, but the novelty wears off. I would say. It was very cool back in DOS, though. Very cool. What am I missing? I'm missing red. Alright, we've got all 4 people here. I'm going to hope that Zombie's initial paralysis is not going to in any way conflict with my mount. Aha! That was very close. Doing my best to hit this trunk. I seem to be the only one hitting it. As you do. It's always reassuring to have no one else hitting it after I was pleading with the team to aim for it, practically. Deus is a much cooler fight than Yamatsukami. I appreciate... Oh, that would be fucking right. I hate this location. This location is terrible, not just for the verticality of it, but for the fact that the monster can actually be out of bounds when you mount him and then it just cancels the mount. What an absolute shit show, because when that happens, I've lost with the mount. Like, I don't get another chance to get the same mount resistance. That's it. Like, I lost my first mount. It's gone. Tough fucking shit. This is already a horrendous fucking run. Hopefully this guy who's mindlessly pierce gunning is going to actually break the tusk. Or the trunk, sorry. That's the only thing I can hope for. So, yeah. Outside of that, however, fucking terrible hunt. Fucking terrible hunt. Just miserable. And thoroughly unrewarding. Fortunately, I was just out of range of that. Just got slapped in the face by a flaccid elephant cock. Alright. Next mount, I guess. Another failed mount, I can't wait. Is he limping out? No, he's not. He's doing an attack. The flaccid penis attack. Has to be flaccid, otherwise it's not that floppy, is it? What's he doing now? Is he limping? I can't fucking tell. You can never tell with this monster. He just lumbers naturally. Apparently, well, according to you, Elder Frost has the most annoying moveset in the game. I think he's kind of annoying. He's annoying in that he is both frustrating to fight at a distance and also at close range. He's a dickhead. He's an unpleasant monster to fight. So, you know, I would agree that he has an annoying moveset. Whether or not it's the most annoying in the game is definitely up for debate, but he's a prick, so I will at least concur with that sentiment. Here we go, got a mount. Can we aim for the fucking trunk, please? I don't ask for much, I just aim for, you know, a broken trunk. Is it broken is the question. It's not fucking broken. I've done my personal utmost to break that fucking trunk and it's not broken, so, you know, as far as I'm concerned, this is a waste of a hunt. Waste of a fucking hunt. I said very clearly, please break the trunk. I didn't demand it, I requested it wholeheartedly. And Lonely is just mindlessly shooting his fucking bow gun and Zenom! I don't even know what's going on with that guy. But I'm sure he's doing something to the best of his ability. So, yeah. The best way for me to describe my attempts at getting trunk spines would be to say that it's just endless disappointment and just one gigantic time-wasting exercise. Endless fucking failure. Get me a fucking mount. Get it done. It is admittedly hard to break the trunk with the bow, so I'm not going to hold it against him too much, but yeah. I'm going to let Gammoth turn around a little bit here. I have to, because, come on, he's not going to fuck. Alright, fine. If you're going to stand still, I'll fucking do it. This is why I wanted him to turn around. Oh my god. Maybe I can get a little bit of damage on the trunk from here. Ugh. Displeasure manifest. Honestly. Come on. Breaking the trunk of an Elder Frost Gammoth is probably the most unpleasant experience of any hunting task in Monster Hunter. That's what I've decided. Like, I hate it. I used to think that it was breaking, or rather cutting a Chameleo's tail in 4 Ultimate, but no. That's actually quite doable. This is just shit. I hate this. The monster just fucking dies before the team can coordinate itself to break the trunk. And I hate it. I'm sick of it. Every fucking hunt is the same. Anyway. The good thing, of course, is that as you're attempting to mount the monster, you're quite frequently in the air and therefore unaffected by tremor. That would be rather awkward if tremor could affect you while in midair. That would basically be Capcom saying, oh, well, it doesn't make any sense that you're being affected by tremor despite being in midair, but, you know, it's too easy, isn't it, if you can just avoid it by being in midair? I'm glad Capcom kept themselves under control when it came to that one. You might think that they wouldn't do something as illogical as causing you to take some sort of damage or, well, not damage, but suffer some inconvenience from tremor despite being in midair, but no. That would not be out of character for Capcom to do something like that. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Ow. It looks like the trunk is actually broken this time, which is refreshing to see. I don't know how the hell it wasn't broken last time, I really don't know. That is a miracle, an absolute miracle that that fucking trunk didn't break last time. I will go for a capture. In fact, you know what? Forget the next mount, I'm just going to deal damage. We need to get him limping in this area. Because if we don't get him limping in this area, it is going to be confusing for a capture in the next area. You shouldn't say that, zombie, because if you say, let's capture this thing, people are going to assume that it's capturable. I appreciate that you're trying to keep the team on board, but yeah, usually that means let's go for the capture now, as opposed to let's capture in the future. But that's alright. If we see it limp, we'll make mention of the fact that a capture would be helpful. I understand that it's good for... Oh, well, that'd be the next thing. Imagine if we failed the fucking quest. That would not be new territory for me. Like I said, probably in the previous recording that I did in Generations Ultimate, on camera, probably in part 200 and something, it would have still been 200. I'm telling you, both trunks broken on the Gammoth monsters. They were Elder Frost, obviously. And a guy died 3 fucking times just before we killed the second Elder Frost. It was so bad. I don't really remember a time in recent memory where I had felt as if I'd wasted so much of my life. It was literally just, you know, the time that I'd spent in that last 10 minutes. And also feeling like I had achieved something. I just watched it drain away. It just disappeared right before my very eyes. And all because that one guy couldn't play Monster Hunter. That's all it takes sometimes, you know? All it takes is one guy to literally be incapable of playing the game and it just ruins your day. You know, stay at camp. Just fucking stay at camp. At that point. Oh, I got a... fuck if I know what just happened. That was pathetic. That was very good. Great attempt to go for the capture there. That seems to be a limp. Yeah. I'll drop a shock trap. I do appreciate the pitfall attempt though. I think that was from Zenom. Come on. Get in it. You're standing in it, asshole! Oh, you've got some nerve. He was standing in it. Zenom's shooting the thing. It's not a problem for you to just kill it. It's not a problem at all for you. You've got... He's actually prevented the capture by doing that. Fuck you. Oh my god, he wasn't limping. How incredible is that? It actually looked like he was limping. I was watching for it. But no, that's how the monster fucking moves. He naturally limps. I'm so fucking... That couldn't have been a case of us failing the capture while he was capturable. Couldn't have been. We threw like 80 tranks at him. So that's just him looking like he's capturable, but he's simply not. Whatever, just kill him. I don't care. I'm so sick of this monster. The most miserable experience of my monster hunting career is getting trunk spines from Elder Frost Gammoth. I fuck it, like, I'm telling you now. In the most fulsomely visceral detail, that the experience of getting trunk spines from this monster is probably the most unpleasant shit you can ever deal with in Monster Hunter. I would rather get fucking gold tickets in first generation Monster Hunter than do this. It's just, I would rather get Lao Shanlung rubies in Freedom 1 than do this. I fucking hate this experience. I don't even care if you're limping now, because apparently you limp when you walk normally, so... Fuck you. Ugh. The reality is that you need a lot of them. If you want to make the bow fully upgraded, you need a lot of them. If you want to make... Okay, imagine you're wanting to do what I'm doing, and what I want to do is to have elemental weapons that are also low sharpness so that I can effectively have elemental bludgeoner weapons. Well, all of your ice options for that are Gammoth, so you're making pretty much all of the Gammoth weapons, which fully upgraded require a lot of trunk spines. Well, here I am. Getting a whole lot of trunk spines and wishing I wasn't doing it. I'm not deeply dedicated to it, but it really is a struggle sometimes. Every time I am doing it, actually, it is a struggle. The sometimes is how frequently I have to suffer the displeasure of it when playing the game. Anyway. We have passed the threshold of 2 hours. Is that a trunk spine? I got 1 trunk spine! Woo! Doesn't sound like much for all that effort, does it? But you know what? It would have been entirely possible for me to not have received even 1. So I will happily take that trunk spine. I will happily take it. Thank you. At least it wasn't a complete waste of art. Fucking hell. Alright. It'd be nice if you could just carve one occasionally. Just occasionally. Carve a trunk spine. I'd love it. But no, it's a break only. Okay. Thank you for watching, everyone. That has been Doomlink's Life Hunts in Generations Ultimate. I will see you when I'm next recording a game that you would like to watch. I need to now, well, not go to sleep, but do what I need to do before going asleep, or going to sleep if I wanted to actually articulate myself in a way that would be expected of a person who speaks English as a first language. And, yeah, I shall bid you all farewell for now. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.